Hello. Today we're going to talk about changing from active to passive, from active voice to passive voice. If we change a sentence from active to passive, let's take this first example. Someone is driving the large hot dog. This is the active form. Someone is driving the large hot dog. I have someone is doing this action of driving. That's the active sentence. Passive is where we take the subject and we move it to the back, and we take the object to move it to the front. So it's kind of like a backwards sentence. The large hot dog is being driven by someone. This is a passive sentence. I know it's passive because the large hot dog is not doing the action of driving. I can also see that there's a difference in the verb here. Is driving is present progressive. Is being driven is something else. Now, when we're changing from active to passive, it works much better if we follow certain steps. So, I have this sentence. Someone is driving the large hot dog. Step one for changing this from active to passive is I need to find the verb. So I'm looking for the action in the sentence. In this sentence, the action is driving. That's my verb. After I find the verb, by finding the action, is driving, I'm ready for step two. Step two is find the subject. To find the subject, you're going to ask who or what does the action of the verb. Okay? So if I have my verb is driving, I ask myself, who is doing the action of driving? My answer, someone. So the subject of this sentence is someone. So first I find the verb. Once I have the verb, I can ask the questions that help me find the subject. Now we're ready for step three. So step one, find the verb. Step two, find the subject. Step three is I need to find the object of the verb. To do that, I say the subject and the verb, and then I ask the question, who or what? Someone is driving what? The answer, the large hot dog. So the large hot dog, that is my object. Now we're ready for step four. Okay? So we found the verb. We found the subject, step two, by asking who or what did the action of the verb. Step three, we find the object. We say the subject, someone, is driving. Then we ask the question, who or what? Someone is driving what? The large hot dog. So once I know that this is the object, I'm going to move that to the front of the sentence. There we go. Someone is driving a large hot dog. I've moved it to the front of the sentence. Now we're ready for the next step. Step five. This is tricky. I have to figure out the passive form of the verb. Now the passive form of the verb is going to be some form of this verb be. Am, is, are, was, were, has been, will be. Some form of the verb be plus the V3. When I say V3, what I mean is the past participle of the verb. So if I take a verb like eat, the V1 is eat, the V2 is ate, that's the past tense. The V3, the one we need here, the V3 is eaten. So eat, ate, eaten. Or take, took, taken. Taken is the V3. Drive, drove, driven. Driven is the V3. Okay, so to find the passive form of the verb, I need some form of be plus the V3. The form of be has to be the same verb tense as the verb in the sentence. Let's look here. It says, someone is driving the large hot dog. Is driving. That is present progressive. So I need to think about present progressive form of be. And that would be is being. So the large hot dog is being driven. Driven is that V3 form of the verb. So we go from is driving to is being driven. This is the active form of the verb. This is the passive form of the verb. Same verb tense, but one is active, one is passive. Now, step 6 is optional. So step 6 is what to do with the subject. I have the large hot dog is being driven by someone. I put the subject after the verb, and the subject comes with the word by someone. So one thing about the by phrase is that we don't always have to include it. Let's take a look at this bar right here. We can see the old stone. It looks like a very old bar. So someone built this bar a long time ago. What's the first step to changing this to passive? So the first step would be we're going to first step, we're going to find the verb, built. Next step, we're going to say who or what built. And that would be someone. Someone built. Okay? Now we find the object. We say the subject, the verb, and then we ask who or what. So someone built what? The answer, this bar. I'm going to take this object, move it to the front. This bar, now I need the passive form of the verb. I see I have built here. What verb tense is that? It's past simple. So what is the past simple form of be? The past simple form of be is was. So this bar was built. Now I need to think about this by phrase. This bar was built by someone. And I think, well, yes, it was built by someone. But that doesn't really add any necessary information to the sentence. I know someone built it. I really don't care who built it. I just know it was a long time ago. So in this situation, the by phrase, we could probably just throw away because it doesn't add any important information. I could just have this bar was built a long time ago. By someone is really unnecessary here. So let's review. Changing a sentence from active to passive. Step 1, find the verb. Step 2, find the subject. We find the subject by asking who or what does the action of the verb. Step 3, find the object. We do that by saying the subject, then the verb, then we ask who or what. We move that object to the front of the sentence. Then we figure out what the passive form of the verb is, some form of be plus V3. And then we decide, do I need to have the by phrase? Is that going to add any necessary information, or can I just throw it away? Usually in sentences, we don't include the by phrase. Sometimes it's necessary. I hope that helps you in understanding how to change from active to passive. And by understanding how to change it, it gives you a little bit better understanding of how these sentences work. Thank you. Have a good day.